talk about a very long gestation period, okay? The Audi Q7 first hit our shores in like 2005, 2006. And then the second generation we only saw in 2015. And that's this generation. So look, it had an update in 2020, and then now this is that next big update. And so it's got things like a revised front end, but what is cool is it's got these daytime running light digital signatures. And what that means is you're able to select one of 4 signatures through the MMI, which I think is like, maybe it's just a little bit gimmicky, but I quite like it. And it does feel something, it does like feel a little bit noteworthy, I guess. You can also opt for digitalized LED rear lights, and those actually have that rear proximity indicators, which we saw in the Q8. And what that does actually is if you're in the Q7 and you're stationary and a car is coming up behind you and maybe it sort of is coming at speed or it doesn't look like it's going to stop, the signatures and the segments all start like lighting up, so as to alert the driver, just in case they didn't see you. So a nice little safety feature, you know? Now, this Q7 is only offered in either the Platinum Edition or the Black Edition, which is the one that I'm driving. I've also got the 7-seat version, which of course I love because it means more space for me. And we know how much I love space. Now, I'm always one to say, I mean, does anybody really want to use the 7 seats? I like to just put them down and then I've got like 780 liters of boot space. But they are kind of handy to have only if you're going to put kids in there, because there's no adult that's going to want to sit there. They're very impractical, pretty much. But most 7 seats or like 7-seaters are, if I must be honest. Well, the very rear seats are generally not that practical. Regarding this interior, though, that is one thing that has stood out for me. Even though this is essentially 10-year-old Q7, everything still feels quite modern in the cabin. The materials are lovely and soft to the touch. It's sort of a plush interior. It's quite luxurious, and it feels very well built and very well put together. Very Audi. And I say that I think in almost every Audi review, but because it is worth noting. And to be able to sort of go on for this many years and only now doing the second upgrade and not have to have done too much says a lot for this model. The only one is maybe at this point is this 2-face infotainment interface. It can be a little bit confusing and takes quite a bit of attention to operate, which kind of defeats the whole point of the touchscreens, etc. You have got things like voice control and everything, but still, having your aircon and everything down here and click, it's just a lot. You would have to really familiarize yourself with it, you know, but even then, I still think it needs to be a bit simpler. The only other sort of gripe that I've just, besides this being like a very spacious car, is the storage sort of situation up here is not my best. I like to have my phone where I can see it. I guess that is actually not the safest way for things to be done. However, there's only 2 little cup holders up here, and if you want to charge your phone on the wireless charger, it goes into the center console here, which is not my vibe. And in fact, it will make me forget it, even though there is a reminder that says to you, your phone is still in the car. I find like maybe I'll start not hearing that anymore. Maybe leave it in the car. At least it'll be out of sight. So that's a plus. So this 55 TSI is powered by a 3-litre 6-cylinder turbo petrol. It has 250 kilowatts and 500 Newton meters of torque on tap. And it's mated to an 8-speed Tiptronic, which is programmed perfectly, by the way. But in fact, the whole driving experience is just almost perfection for me. It is really refined, very smooth. There's more than enough power. I mean, you can get to 100 kilometers per hour in just 5.6 seconds. This specific model, the Black Edition, comes in at just 1.97 million with some optional extras that this car has. It's up at 2.1 million, just over. As much as I hate to almost admit it, because I'm normally all about, you know, value for money and budget buying, etc., and, you know, penny pinching, I have to say that this is worth all that money. It is just a lovely car to drive. Overall, I don't find much to fault about it. And after all, you're my wonderwall. Ba, ba, ba.